romance novels. It's a $1.44 billion industry. It's the most profitable of any book genre, but sometimes they haven't always gotten a lot of the respect that they deserve in that writing community.
That's right, and Cap KV's Emily Goodell tells us an independent bookstore in Yakima is working to make sure local romance authors get the recognition and support they deserve.
More than a dozen romance authors from the Pacific Northwest are stopping at Inkling Saturday to sign books and meet readers, some who started reading this genre during the uncertainty of the pandemic.
That's what I like about romance. Doesn't matter how difficult the book is to read, you know the ending is going to be happy. So in a way, it's a fantasy because you don't get that in real life.
Yakima author Krista Jensen started her real-life journey to becoming an author with a writing group that led to her first book, The Orchard, a modern version of Jane Austen's Persuasion set in Montana.
I love to write about triumph. I love to write about characters going through hard things, and part of the romance I like to include is this figuring it out together.
Persistence was also the key for Yakima romance author Amanda Valdez.
I have loved writing African-American romance because we're deserving of the good stories too, and we're deserving of those happy moments and just straight up love. That's it.
She wrote her first book, All I Wanted, All I Needed, during the pandemic, about all the things about love she wished she knew when she was younger.
One of the themes was being in love with yourself first, because if you're not in love with yourself, you can't really love anyone else or expect anyone to love you.
For small-town romance author Delynn Weller, it was her love of her ranch in rural Yakima that inspired her latest series.
It's called Apple Valley Ranchers, but Apple Valley is really Yakima.
Her books, a dream she only began chasing recently after finishing 20 years of homeschooling her kids.
I sold 3 goats and bought a laptop, and I decided to start studying how to write well. So the first year, that's all I did was study.
But ended up publishing her first book at 49, learning firsthand there's no age limit for writing.
It doesn't matter how old you are, disabilities, it doesn't matter. It opens up a whole world.
When I asked each of them what it takes to go from being a writer to being a published author, they all told me about the same thing, which is never give up.
It really is a labor of love, but the community is worth it. The writing is worth it. I'm a happier person when I write.
Be patient, get lots of rest, whether it's a physical pain or an emotional block, and keep a journal.
Nobody can read a book that you haven't written. You're not going to make money straight off the bat every single time, but if it's your dream, then it's always worth it.
In Yakima, Emily Goodell, Cat KVU, Local News.